Okay, Bert. Zoe went from 60-40 yesterday. Bill stays to 70-30. He's gone. I went from 25% yesterday that he stayed to now 1.5% chance that he stays because it's 98.5% chance that he's out. What would you put it at?
80. I think 80. Like
80.
I just think like I don't know that Roberts. Look, what Tom Curran reported 2 months ago, I think was spot on because this is not a decision that you make on Black Monday. Like this is not the owner going to sleep on Sunday night and saying, I'll sleep on it. I'll figure it out in the morning. Now they may wind up making it look that way, but this is not like a decision that you make overnight. This is a decision that goes not weeks, months go into it.
Right.
And like I think Robert has been at the play. I think Robert has been in that place for a couple months now, probably since Germany. He's been in that place where it's like, this is what we're doing. Now, do I think it's impossible that he gets cold feet or that he says we can orchestrate a handoff where if we hire a general manager and Bill may not go for any of that anyway. The scenario where I could see it happening where he stays, and this is a very, very narrow path, but I can draw it up for you, would be Robert goes in and he doesn't want to fire him. And so what does he do? Well, I'm going to create options for him that he's not going to find acceptable, right? And so he's going to say what I've said before, which is, Bill, we're hiring a GM. We were going to do this when Gerard was going to become the head coach. Instead of waiting, we're just going to do it now. You are not going to have to report to this GM, but he is not going to have to report to you. You're both reporting to me. And if you're okay with that, then we'll be good to go for another year, and then we'll reassess. And everyone I've talked to about that scenario that knows Bill says no bleeping chance would he go for that. But what are his options? Because if you don't think Bill has back channeled at least a little bit of this, you don't know Bill, right?
Right.
I think Bill probably has something of an idea of what his options are going to be. And so, like, if Robert goes in there and intending to walk away from Bill Belichick, but wanting to making it look a certain way, right? And make it look like it was Bill's decision to leave and not his decision to fire him, the risk is Bill says, okay. Right? So, like,
that's scary.
That's
not scary that he.
But
would
that's the only scenario. Like that's the scenario where I could see it.
Chicken bleep by the
You know
team.
what I mean?
Right.
Like,
But
that's the only scenario. And again, I'm drawing that up in my head, and it's something like people have hypothesized to me, but it's not coming from. I mean, there are 3 people here who know, and 2 of them have the same last name, but like that's a scenario that people who have been around the team, who understand the dynamics and everything else, like if there was a way that
it's calling your bluff.
Yeah, I mean, if there was a way that was going to happen, that would be it.
Quit playing games. Too many losses have piled up. The roster is in such bad shape. There's a lot of work to be done. They need to spend less time worrying about winning the PR war of letting go of Bill Belichick and just do it.
Yeah.
And have some balls and just do it.
But we've talked about this before too, though, right? Robert's legacy matters a lot, and the Hall of Fame things matters a lot, and these things, like in fairness to him, like these things do matter.
Well,
with an owner.
Can I give you a counter to that?
Yeah.
You know what will really impact the legacy? If the team continues to stink.
Yeah.
Like it smells right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With all kinds of now dysfunction in the front office and in the coaching ranks, and with a 4 or 5 win team this year after a losing record a year ago in the longest stretch of not winning a playoff game in ownership history. And all of it seems to happen without Tom Brady, by the way, right now. So that will impact the legacy so much more than how Bill Belichick's time in New England came to an end. You know what's far more important? Rebuilding a winner.
Yep.
That'll be far more important to the legacy than whatever happened with Bill at the end. No one's going to remember that. No one's going to remember it down the road. Oh, Bill left. Yeah, he had a bunch of losing seasons, and it was over there.
But we've talked about this before, though, right? Like, and I'm with you. Like, that what happens next is very important to
way more important.
His legacy. But there's also like that piece of it, like where the owner's impact on championships is really hard for people to wrap their arms around, right?
Right.
And we talked about Eddie DeBartolo. What does everybody remember Eddie DeBartolo for now? This guy was the gold standard of owners in all sports, not just the NFL when I was a kid.
Yeah, he and Carmen policy.
What do people think of when they think of Eddie DeBartolo now?
Oh, the
casino thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the casino thing. Like Jerry Jones won 3 Super Bowls in his first 4 years as an owner. What do people remember him for?
Firing Jimmy.
The divorce with Jimmy, right?
Or did he fire Jimmy?
Like,
or did Jimmy walk?
out of fairness to Robert, like who I think is like one of the best owners in sports, like out of fairness to him, like if you are sensitive about that, it's well founded. It's not like that's being overly sensitive. Like that, like this stuff does impact how those guys are remembered. Like Eddie DeBartolo, who hired Bill Walsh, who was there when they drafted Joe Montana, who helped transition the franchise from Montana to Steve Young, who hired George Seifert when Walsh walked away. Like that guy is remembered for like some like riverboat casino in Louisiana.
Yeah.
Right? He's remembered for how it ended. He's not remembered for what happened while it was going on. He's remembered for how it ended. Jerry is remembered for how it ended with Jimmy. And so if Robert
can be remembered for how bad his teams were at the end if that's what he chooses. So I would focus more on rebuilding a winner.
I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you like what I think the scenario part of the thought process is.
He's going to be remembered for the
totally
lighthouse right now. That's the way it's looking.
Oh, it's the Brady thing too. It's the Brady departure. Like you signed off to allow him to become a free agent.
If Bill goes somewhere else and hits a home run,
oh God,
right? If Bill were to, and I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if Bill goes somewhere else and hits a home run, it's going to impact Robert's legacy because now you've got both those guys having gone.
It won't
else.
if he picks the right head coach and has it put back together.
Right,
Whatever Bill does won't matter. However he lets Bill go won't matter so long as he gets it right with the next head coaching hire and
which
the team
is
gets
really
back to
freaking
winning.
hard to do.
Of course it is.
And a lot of the things that'll impact that are out of your control. So, like I'm just telling you, like I think legacy is important. I think how this looks is important to him. And I think that there's a chance, too. Like, I think there's a chance, like, Bill, if Bill does have options, Bill would make him fire him. Right?
Say, no, I've already, knowing that he back-channeled and has something lined up.
If he knew, like the Raiders, if he knew like the Raiders were going to come and hire him, or the Chargers were going to come and hire him, or the Panthers were going to come and hire him, or the Falcons were going to come and hire him, whatever it is, right? If he knew that, then does he want that team giving up a first-round pick to get him? A first-round pick that he could use on a player?
Do you think he'd
or would
get
he
that
walk
high
in, or
pick?
would he walk in there and say, and Robert says like, okay, like, well, we're going to work out a deal if you want to still coach. No. Like I don't have to agree to that. That's a breach of my contract. Fire me. You know, he could.
I could so see him doing that.
Yeah.
If they lose on Sunday, though, I guarantee people will remember that, and they will remember him maybe getting booed out of the stadium, though.
Yeah.
I don't think people are going to boo.
Nah,
I don't think they'll
I mean,
boo.
I think you're past the boo point.
If they lose and they lose bad, I could see people booing.
Maybe in game.
Patriots fans are pretty intense.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't know. I think that I think people are going to have a sense for what this is. You know what I mean? Like, I just think I think the people that are going there on Sunday, because the conditions are going to be
I
crappy.
was going to say the weather doesn't help the attendance numbers for this weekend, and attendance has not been good already the last 6 weeks.
I think, Kendra, the people that are going there on Sunday are going there to say goodbye to Bill. Like, I think that's the lure of going to this game.
I think they want to
else.
win, though. That's why they're going.
No, I don't think people. I think people who are going to the game,
Season
on Sunday,
ticket holders, people
like
that
they
want
to say they want to see Bill one last time. Like I
agree with that.
Like I think if we knew Bill was going to be back next year, like I think you'd have a really really low attendance number on Sunday. Like as far as just butts in the seats, not what they're going to announce, right? I think it'll look decent on Sunday because there are going to be a lot of people who realize like this is my chance to say goodbye to Bill Belichick. They're not there to see Bailey Zappi and Trevor Siemian put on whatever.
It's part of football history.
Yeah.
Brian in Connecticut has something on the dynamic with Robert and Belichick. What do you got, Brian?
I think he's
here's what his question was. I saw it on the subject line. Then he hung up. He got cold feet. His question was, if Robert had made it into the Hall of Fame already, is Bill fired without question here at the end? He doesn't have to worry about legacy. He's already in the Hall of Fame.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, if this thing gets ugly at the end, does it impact the way voters look at him when he's up against some qualified guys like in that contributor category again, which has got Mike Shanahan in it, by the way, who has like young assistants winning Super Bowls, and like his son might win a Super Bowl this year. Like there's going to be strong sentiment for Mike Shanahan to get in next in that contributor category. So yeah, I mean, I think that certainly could impact things.
Charles in Atlanta, go ahead.
Hey, good morning, gents. A couple questions for Albert there. First off, I'm curious if you ever knew Kendall Roy from Jeremy Strong's succession.
Played,
in
Yeah, we
LA.
covered this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you missed this
Oh,
one,
okay.
Charles.
Kendall Roy
All right.
was a year ahead of me at LS, and then Captain America was a year behind me at LS.
Okay. Were you friends with Kendall?
Yeah, I played Little League baseball with him. His dad coached me.
Is a good dude?
Yeah. He was a nice kid.
Okay. Very nice. Okay. Second question is, I'm at a bar down here in Atlanta watching Pats play, and I see the Eagles lose, and the Eagles fans are going crazy in this bar saying, get the coach out of here. And it made me think, is there a possible fit for BB to go to Philly? Lurie's from Lexington. They're set up. I mean,
Well, don't the Eagles
That
fans
would
love
be-
what Matt Patricia's done there so far? I mean, you could get more of that with Bill.
But Bill does have a great relationship with Howie. It's fun to think about.
They're not firing Nick Sirianni.
They're not going to, but
That team's in disarray right now, though.
the team's a little bit of a mess right now.
First round exit?
Yeah,
Maybe.
I
They
just
might get popped divisional round.
I don't know. Like I will say, like one of the Jeffrey Lurie, one of the things he's really good at is he knows when it's time to walk away from a coach, like
Yeah,
as an
he
owner.
Did that with Peterson.
Yeah, like
Quarterbacks.
and it looked like kind of idiotic. Like, but he knew when to walk away from Chip. He knew when to walk away from Peterson. He had the gumption to fire Andy Reid. So, I mean,
He's fired some good coaches.
Yeah.
and he hired good ones too. Like the worst coach he's hired, well, Ray Rose at the very beginning, but like since then, the worst coach he's hired is Chip Kelly, who won 10 games 2 years in a row.
Yeah, not terrible.
That is interesting, though. Like coaches and quarterbacks. Like they've moved on from quarterbacks.
So
Yeah, that's a like
him
actually
on.
like you know what? It's not a horrible thought because like that's the type of place where he could go and hit the ground running. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and I mean, there's a little rivalry with Lurie and Kraft too, where it probably wouldn't be a horrible bonus for Jeffrey to do that.
when-
But I don't think it's going to happen.
when Jeremy Strong went to the plate on that little league team, did he say things like, if I don't hit a home run here,
I actually one of my friends
I'm gonna
sent
die.
me one of my
Right? Is
friends
it one of those lines.
one of my friends sent me like a playbill
Super
from
dramatic.
some school play at LS. I don't know. I think I was a junior or whatever.
Yeah.
And like the two leads to the play were Chris Evans and Jeremy Strong.
Not bad, decent program there.
Yeah,
Good
I had no
talent.
idea. I had no idea. Yeah.
More.
Chris got like a girl in our grade. He's a year older than us. He was a year younger than us, where none of us could figure out how it happened. And I guess it makes sense now.
Oh.
Yeah.